Okay, we're switching lanes to education, and we're off to Osun State, where the government embarked on a mission to revamp the education system, as they say, with a reclassification from primary and secondary schools to, what do they call it? Junior school, elementary school, middle school, and high school. Now, reactions, all sorts of reactions have trailed this move by the Osun State government, and some are happy, some are not happy. Some schools have been merged just so that, as they say, they can move the education system forward. But here in the studio we have, representing on both sides, the missionaries and the government to talk about education. We have in the studio Reverend Elisha Ogundia, Chairman, Christian Association of Nigeria, Osun State. Thank you for coming on the program.
Thank you very much. Good morning.
Also here is Bishop John Bangboe, Director, Christian Association of Nigeria.
Thank you.
In the studio as well is the Commissioner for Information and Strategy of Osun State, Mr. Sunday Akere.
Good morning.
And Laurent Oyeniran, Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education, Osun State.
You're welcome, sir.
Gentlemen, you are welcome.
Thank you.
So let's begin with the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Education. Tell us about this new education policy in Osun State.
Thank you very much. The new education policy in Osun State is an approach by the government of the day, the government of Mr. Rauf Adesoji Aregbesola, to kind of improve the educational system for the better, to ensure that teaching and learning is improved, to ensure better results for our children, as opposed to the situation we have in the past where the results and performance of students had nothing to write home about. So it's a kind of definitive approach on the part of government of the day to ensure that education is moved forward. Because when you look at the 6-point integral action plan of Mr. Governor, he emphatically mentioned it, that he is out to promote functional education. And then the classification thing we are into now is that approach, that particular attempt to ensure that education is given the pride of place in the state of Osun.
Okay, can you give us the details of the specific parts of this policy that are causing disenchantment?
Well, let me say that this system reclassifies students into 3 categories. The first one is elementary school, what is formerly known as primary school. So we now have grades 1 to 4, wherein we regard that as elementary. Now, these children are the children that government is feeding under the O-Meal program. And it allows them to, be put together in the same compound, as opposed to in the past where primaries 5 and 6 are together with them. So now it is grades 1 to 4 in the same school, reclassified as elementary school.
Okay. So middle school is what?
Middle school is what was formerly known as primaries 5 and 6, yes, now moved, reclassified to join the old JS 1 to 3, which we now regard as grades 5 to 9.
Okay.
And when you look at them, they are children of the same age brackets, ages 10 to 14.
Okay.
Then the third reclassification has to do with the old SS 1 to 3, that we now refer to as high school.
Okay.
Grades 10 to 12.
Okay.
Age brackets, 15 to 17.
Okay. Okay. Mr. Commissioner, is this not likely to cause confusion in the nation? Because this system obviously is different from all the other systems in all the other states of the Federation.
Thank you very much. There is no confusion. Okay. In the educational system that we are running in Nigeria today, in primary and secondary school, you are expected to spend 12 years. That's why we call it 6-3-3, with the tertiary part being 4. What we are doing in Osun today is 4-5-3, which is still the same 12 years. And it's not causing any confusion. Just like the PS said, we are trying in Osun. Osun is the only state in Nigeria today that practices the policy of free feeding, because we believe that for us to have better citizens tomorrow.
But that's only in public schools?
It's only in public schools.
Okay.
Today, the government of the state of Osun is providing free lunch for about 250,000 pupils in primaries 1 to 4 in all the public schools in the state of Osun, because we believe that as a government that is responsive and responsible, we should be interested in developing the system of the kids right from the youth. That's why we are doing it. When we came and we discovered that, okay, you are having primaries 1 to 6 then. Initially, we were giving free feeding in primaries 1 and 2. Okay. Then the other pupils in 3 to 6, we start asking what was the offense. The government decided, okay, we are increasing it from primaries 1 to 4, and we now said, okay, with the new regrouping, when we came, which was supposed to have even been mentioned by the PS, we discovered that in the state of Osun, for every 100 students that sits for the WAEC exams, only 3 comes out with matriculable results.
Okay.
And we discovered that for a government that really knows that you want to contribute to the development of the state, something urgent must be done.
Okay.
We organize an education summit, the outcome of which is what we are doing now.
Okay, Mr. Commissioner, thank you very much. Bishop,
yes, sir.
What is the problem of Christian Association of Nigeria with this new Osun State policy?
Well, thank you very much. If you want to build a house, you make sure that the foundation is very solid. The policy of this classification and margin is a problem because it counters. There are 2 policies. God's giving policy of creation and development is it told Adam, be fruitful, be multiply and spread. You get it? Now this policy is what late Awolowo followed. He made education closer to the people in our villages. Otherwise, people like us will not have opportunity. But this policy of bringing all other people, to come together, building what we can call the Tower of Babel, is a problem.
What do you mean bringing all the people together?
I mean students.
I would assume that the more students you have in school, the better for everybody.
Aha. When you bring all I said that the policy of Awolowo is to bring education very close to the people in all villages. But this new policy is bringing students, pupils, to a place, say like Oshogbo, where they want to have only 3 secondary school, Ikirun, 2 secondary school. Now, where we have about 1,000 people or 2,000 congregating in a place, and you say that you want a good education, there are problems. We have risk, security risk in such thing, because you can hardly know what can happen when many people, congregate. We have such a risk.
Bishop, please,
Yes.
you need to break this down for us to follow your argument.
Yeah.
You say that the government wants to have only 3 secondary schools in Oshogbo?
Yes, that's what we learn.
Is that correct, sir?
That is not correct. Totally false.
3 secondary schools
No.
in Oshogbo, which is a city?
That is very, very incorrect. Now, I can confirm to you that in Oshogbo, like I told you, you see, the middle school is a secondary school. The high schools are secondary school. So, to say that we have only 3 in Oshogbo, that is false. We have more than 16 different schools of these categories in Oshogbo alone. And I want to tell you that Oshogbo has 2 local governments, Oshogbo local government and Oloruda local government. If we are to address the issue of high schools alone, there are 4 high schools in Oshogbo and 4 also in Oloruda. That's a total of 8 addressing these students. And I want to correct an impression, ma. You see, we have not deviated from the Awolowo standard in Osun. Now, take all our rural communities. The rural communities are left the way they are. That is because we believe in Osun that the elementary school is a neighborhood school. Given the age bracket of these pupils, they are not to move more than 5 minutes from their homes.
Okay.
So in all our communities,
Bishop.
these schools are there. And what government is out to do is to kind of...
Mr. Oyeniran,
Yes, ma'am.
we have to manage our time.
Okay.
Otherwise, we will not be able to say everything we want to say.
Thank you very much.
Good. So, Bishop, they don't intend to have 3 secondary schools. Good. So, what is the rest of your argument?
Now, my argument is that, you know, they are, in their classification, they are matching. I come from Agba in Buripe local government. About 4 days ago, a child who was who moved from Agba to one high school on the way to what do you call it, Igbajo, maybe about 4 kilometers. When that child came, it's very vivid. When the child came, he told his father that he will not go again.
Too far away.
It's too far away.
Is there no school, no school nearer where he lives?
It is where he was matched to.
Oh, the merger.
Yes.
Ah, okay. So, your argument now is that some people are too far away from where they're supposed to
Exactly.
be. Okay. What about the issue of merging Muslim and Christian schools? You didn't mention that.
Well, I don't know. I don't know about that. But I know of the missionary schools.
Okay. Now, my question is, have the missionary schools been left with the missions? Let me ask Reverend that. Have your schools been left with you, the mission schools?
Not at all. Especially let me use Baptist Girls High School as an example. It's a missionary. It was established by the Baptist missionaries. And this school was established purposely for girls by the missionaries. And now we have another school, called it Fakunle Comprehensive High School. It used to be mixed school. Now, students from Fakunle, boys and girls, were moved to, I'm just using Baptist Girls High School, for example.
Yeah.
They were moved to Baptist Girls High School.
Okay.
And that is what Christian Association of Nigeria Osun State Chapter is against.
Okay.
That's our heritage.
You do not want mixed schools.
No.
Yes.
Why?
Not only that.
Why?
Yes. Schools that are mixed,
Yeah.
that are owned by either missionaries or governments, we are not bothered about that.
Yeah.
In as much as they remain, and what government is doing, we are not against it. Reclassification and others, we are not against it.
Okay.
But what we are saying is that, like for example, that school I mentioned in Baptist Girls High School,
Yeah.
that boys from other schools were being brought to the place. One, you see all sorts of atrocities being committed, even within these few days of their resumption.
What kind of atrocities?
Okay. We have evidences. Reports came to us that students are raping each other. Two, even yesterday,
Reverend,
these pupils, yes.
many schools are mixed schools in Nigeria.
Yes.
How come up until now we haven't heard stories about students being raped and all
But
that?
this happened. It's not a cook story, it's with evidence. And two, when these boys were being arrested by security men, they went back to the security officers. One of them is right now in the hospital. One was discharged.
They went to fight the security
Yes, the
officers.
boys.